What's up, guys? Thank you for stopping by, hanging out. Want to welcome Lehan Vander. You guys are going to find out. Real intelligent fella here. So thank you, Lehan, for stopping in and hanging out with us.
Yep, always.
You guys heard me brag about Lehan. This was the guy that I chose his chip at the track, and he is real good on the sticks. Let's just say that. You guys
Yeah.
check out his channel if you haven't, and please subscribe to him. Huh? Oh, you said that? Okay. Cool.
Let's see. Uh,
Yeah, we'll let like some people come in for a little bit here.
mhm.
Night Train, Ryan, Tiff, Mrs. RC, welcome. What else we got here? These Nuts, he was in here earlier. That's his name's Ryan, so his AKA These Nuts is his name. And then we have RDFPV, which his name is Ryan also.
Uh huh.
So we call him by his like name, his last part of his name.
All right.
Huckleberry FPV, welcome. All right. E Drone. E-Drone was actually there Saturday or Sunday, Leon. He showed up. He didn't come on Saturday. He was busy.
Okay.
Eric, this is Leon. This is who I was telling you about. Was there Saturday, giving us all a run for our money. All right. So did anyone get to fly today? Get to put any birds up, or you got? Because I know a lot of people have rain, and I had some winds. They were gusty, but they weren't too bad.
Yeah, I had some rain. I would have flown today, but it was a little bit wet, and
Gotcha.
yeah, it's just not great today.
Did you get that quad hook to beta flight? Get that straightened out?
Not yet. My dad just got back
Oh,
from
okay, cool.
trip, so
Yeah, like I said, it's probably if anything C-formal coating on it. I'm bad for doing that. RC Fun Diversions, John, welcome. I was watching drone racing. You're watching drone racing on third, and they were all Leon's age. Cool beans. Is that his channel he dropped up there? Cool beans. Crystal dropped a link to Leon's channel, guys. Show him some love. Check out his flying. Are you still building your I was going to say alien, your reverb? That's actually I'm still printing for you, Eric. Got a bunch of stuff up here now. I actually reprinted the session because it actually wasn't working out with the other one. It was kind of missing the back hole because you guys know the reverb's got the two front holes and then that rear hole. Well, when I was taking out the I put supports in so it kind of prints it nice and have because you want your screw holes to be nice. You don't want them to be missing. Well, when I clipped it off, I clipped off a piece of the support, so it's supposed to have this piece on here, and which makes it tough. So I kind of oversnip. Mike Brooks, welcome. Birdman, welcome. Vampire, what's up? Actually, Lee and Vampire is in Newcastle, Delaware. He's like
okay.
right close to you.
Yeah, he's like right here. I used to live really near Newcastle. Go there all the time.
Sweet. Vampire, you would want to fly with this kid, I'm telling you. Johnson Ibass, welcome. Well, guys, look like we have a little bit in here now, so we'll go ahead and start. Leon was going to do a fix tonight. Dano, welcome. But the drone hasn't made it here to him yet, so
Yes.
right. So we just want to bring him on. You guys get to know him a little bit, get to know who Leon is. Like I said, some heard me talk a lot about him. I was really amazed at the day when I met him at the track. Like, just crazy. Like, because I see the passion that you have in quads is what I have, but you're like younger, so you're already on point. You got your sticks laid out, like you're just ready to roll. And
Yeah.
I actually see you being on like DRL in the future. So,
I
Richard
hope
Goggins,
so.
welcome.
Dano said to tell you hey.
I said hey to him.
I know, but he told me to tell you hey.
Oh, he said tell you hey. He said what? Plummet, what's up? Adam in the house. Yeah, he lives in Wilmington, Vampire.
That's what the network is all about.
Yes, sir.
Bringing people together.
So, all right, Lehan. So, what got you into quads? Like, caught your interest?
Okay, so my friend that I know from Missouri when I lived there, he was out flying in our church field, and he let me put the goggles on and see how he flew, and he was doing like loop-de-loops and going around trees and through gazebos, and it really amazed me, and I started asking a bunch of questions, and he told me that if I really wanted to get into the hobby, that I could buy a controller, the transmitter, and then start simming. So I saved and saved and saved, and he actually sold his older transmitter to me for like $70 or something. And then I immediately started simming, and within like the first 2 weeks, I think I had like 50 hours or something probably. I was
Nice.
really, really trying. And then I think about a month later, I went out to a field with him. I didn't have a quad or anything or goggles, but he connected my transmitter to one of his quads, put his goggles on me, and let me fly for my first time. And he actually put a GoPro on the quad to record my first time flying. And I just loved that day.
Awesome.
And then I think a few weeks later, I went to Kansas City and had my first race. Never made a lap, but I loved it anyways.
I know what that never making a lap feels like.
And then I think by my third race, I was doing like 2 or 3 laps per run, which was really good for me because I was only like 2 or 3 months into the hobby, and I had like one quad, but I was never flying the quad at the races. My friend was actually, he had like 5 or 6 quads, and he would always let me use one of his
Okay.
bashers whenever we went to the race. And then I moved down to Florida and got to meet some really good guys. I don't know if any of you know Ron Richter, but he flew on DRL in a TV show like I think a year or 2 ago. And he started the chapter down in Florida, and I flew with him and his son a few times. And that was actually when I started to get good. And the one time I got second place at his race, and
Nice.
I was beaten by 1 lap from his son.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So his son was also similar to me, loves the hobby, really good pilot. Um, he had those nice fat sharks though, and like a super light, super efficient quad. Like when I came down, my battery was like 12 volts, 10 volts.
Yeah, so you're running with basically basher equipment, and you run a lap, or he run a lap faster than you. With
Well, on the races, normally we would be at about the same pace and get the same amount of laps, but at the last race, he got 1 more lap than me.
I got you.
My quad basically was like dead by the time I landed.
So what? So I know I saw your videos, and I see you do freestyle plus the race. What made you more or less choose the race versus freestyle, or vice versa?
I love both race and freestyle. Like I love freestyle, but I also love racing. I just like being competitive. That's why I like racing.
Okay.
And I also like pretty much anything that goes fast. And I also love flying. Like since I've been like 2 or 3, I've wanted to be like a plane pilot or a helicopter pilot.
Oh wow.
So
Awesome.
being a drone pilot was really awesome for me.
Yeah, because I've always referenced it to being a lot of people I bump into. They ask me like in parks and all, what would I reference it to? I said basically having your own jet fighter when you can do, the dives, the rolls, the maneuvers, anything, all kind of whichever way you want to turn in acro.
Yeah.
It,
That's the nice thing about acro. Just do whatever you want. Flip de
Right.
rolls, gaps.
Ed, welcome. Love my drones. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Mr. Gauss.
Mr. Gauss, welcome. Yep, squirrel in the house. Welcome.
Not to interrupt you. Dano says he wants to come fly next Saturday.
Dano, okay, cool. Dano, you want to come next Saturday and fly? Sounds good, brother. We'll go ahead and get it in. I got some spots now. Baduga, welcome.
Mr. Gauss said it's a track-free roller coaster ride.
It's a
That just about sums it up.
track-free roller coaster ride. That would sum it up. So someone getting into the, let's say, hobby, say racing, what you do, what advice would you give them that could help them like grab hold of and learn it pretty quickly, I guess.
Well, definitely buy like I bought the Tyrannus QX7. It's only about $100, and it's like a great transmitter. I love it, and I immediately bought. Well, I started on DRL, the simulator, and I didn't like. I liked it, and I flew a lot on it. But then I found Liftoff, and that's $20, and I saved up and bought it, and then Liftoff has freestyle racing. You can build your own tracks, build your own drones. Basically, like it teaches you so much more than DRL, in my opinion. But I would definitely buy a transmitter and then get on the sim. Definitely.
Awesome.
Captain Cook is here.
Captain Cook, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so
Guys, so the link that I'm dropping is the link to Lehan's channel, so please show him some love.
So with me with the drones, I started out with the toy grades. I started like angle mode, and I kind of moved through camera birds. Then I moved into the building, in an FPV and all that stuff. So along my journey, I've learned editing, coding, configuring, and things like that. Have you seen that the quads taught you anything like that along the way?
Oh, definitely. Like soldering. I didn't even know what soldering was before I started drones. Really, I was never really good at focusing on something and like giving it my all. And then this has really taught me that if I'm going to do something, I need to do it to my full ability. And it's also taught me programming as well, like configuring the drone. It just for an engineering or technical aspect, it's really taught me a lot.
Right, and that's what I think is cool about it, because, and another thing that I like with you is because, like my son, he flies with me. I do all the repairing, all the building. He works, so if he breaks something, he just goes, "Okay, here's the money." And you met him at the track, Russell. So with you, it's different, because most people, when you tell them, "Hey, man, I met this kid, really good with the sticks and stuff," well, a lot of times they'll say, even when I was going to the shooting range and in the guns and stuff, they'd say, well, they got no bad habits. What they mean by that is they can just go out and have fun and fly and enjoy it. They don't have to worry about fixing it, repairing it, to where you're just the opposite. You do everything, kind of like I do. Like you fly them, repair them, break them, stuff like that. So that's what I think is really set you out above the rest. And I see the passion, because that's what I got the passion, and you see it here. So I mean, and I just love the fact of it. Like, to build an RC car, there's nothing wrong with that. I like that, making an RC car go fast. I've been there with nitro and all that good stuff. But I think to make something fly, you're just doing something different there, because we all know what we when we first started, we go out, it would flip over, it would jump up and then slam the ground, and until we knew the basics of what it took, and it took a little bit to learn it. Like there's videos. You got to thank God for YouTube, I guess. I don't know if that helped you along the way.
A lot.
Like right.
A lot.
And that's why we do what we do. So that's what the Drone Network is here for, because we like to help people, and I think that you would inspire so many. Like actually, Mojo Joe, welcome FPV. His daughter actually flies with him. So it's kind of like awesome, you know, that
EBR is here.
EBR, welcome. That it's the youth is like getting into it, because, like you said, it's hard to stop and focus on something, especially at your age. You got so many things that interest you and whatnot, and then for you to take and basically earn the respect of the drone is just like amazing, because you show that you earned it. Like you can see that when you fly, like you're in control of that quad, and that's what is really amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, when I fly knowing that if I break this drone, I'm done for a long time. So
okay, but you still push the limit. So yeah, you saying that would be like kind of like a couple of the guys that I help out. They're like, man, I go real easy because I'm not breaking it, but you're not, dude. Your camera's pointed straight up in the air, and you have the thing. So
yeah, this 6S quad that I built, it's a basher. Like I've hit so many trees, and I've never broken an arm or anything on it. It's just like with that, I feel like I can go hard. But when I was on Forest, I had like the Floss 2 and all that, and I broke 4-in-1s, tons of motors, tons of cameras, arms. I had to go really easy on that. But I feel like on the 6S quad, I can go just like push the limits.
I got you. And I felt that with 5S. I know exactly what you mean too. It's kind of like it sounds scary because you're like, well, 6S, but then I've seen like 5S, like I've seen it actually just, I guess, a little bit more weight of that one more cell, and then just the efficiency of it. You're not getting that lag and that, you know, all that stuff. That's what makes the whole much different across the board.
The biggest reason I moved to it was because of battery sag. On Forest, like every race I'd go to, the last lap and a half,
right,
I would just be like pushing full throttle. Felt like I was just going to the ground because the battery was like done. But with 6S, like you can push it until it's dead, and only when it's dead will you feel that it's dead.
Got you, right.
Yeah, like 18 volts, and you wouldn't even know. And that's
right.
The thing on your screen, which I do. So for me, 6S is good, but you also have to keep an eye on your battery, because
right,
you wouldn't really.
Like yours did you that day at the track. You did. Yeah. You had a full backpack started out and then just like went to 18 quick.
Yep. Went down to like 14.
For all of you who are new, please welcome Lehan Vander. He is into race drones. He is the future. You're how old, Lehan?
I am 14 years old.
And was into racing
within
2 months of flying, period. So he's showing all of us.
Oh, gee, welcome.
You know, you give whatever you're into your all. Just like he said, you give it 100% no matter what it is. If it's camera drones, if it's race drones, if it's freestyle. You give everything you have to it, and you see where you can go. So, I mean, some of us are like you used to be. How long have you been flying now?
I've been flying for, I think, a year and almost a year and a half.
Okay, so you were like 12 and a half when you started flying.
Yeah, I was 12.
So, and I mean, some of us in here are almost triple your age, and you're still flying. So, I mean, it goes to show you the love of the hobby. There's no age limit.
And it is like, for instance, True Drone Reviews you see in the chat here. He does like the more or less like I say toy grades, GPS birds. He doesn't do the race birds or FPV, but everything other than that. And he is well, I'm not going to say an old man, but yeah,
An older gentleman.
an older gentleman. So it's not like when I tell people about it, they're like, oh, well, you have to be young and be into that, and I'm like, not really. Richard Coggins is an older guy, and these guys still fly and enjoy it. Richard Coggins does the FPV goggles,
Mhm.
Tom
everything.
said tried 4 times his age.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
You know, there is no age
OG
limit.
said old as hell. But yeah, and Richard Coggins, he's like, so he's well 70 years old. I'll just say that, and his hands are, giving him hell at times where he can't even hold the sticks. But on good days, he gets out there and rips it. And oh, yep, I'm 60. Okay, damn, I said 70. My bad, Richard. But anyway, yeah, it goes to show you that you're 14 and look at that age difference, and still enjoying it because I don't like flying in an airplane. I've never went up in an airplane myself, and just because I'm like a claustrophobic kind of, so I kind of think being in that cabin, sitting in that seat, I kind of would feel weird. But
Mhm.
I love being the goggles and being in control of flying, and it's just like the wing I fly, anything. I haven't really flown in the airplane yet, but other than that, and I have to pause and let Crystal take this. I can get dinner out of the oven.
Good idea. Good idea. Welcome, Justin. Helicopter. And like I said, guys, where do you see yourself with this hobby? Where do you want to go? Because right now, at your age and the potential that you have available,
Mhm.
they say the sky is the limit, and it's the truth. But where would you like to see yourself? What is your goal in this hobby?
Well, I think for me, once I get a job, I want to start going to like tons of races, and I really really want to start getting up on the leaderboard, start making a name for myself, um, and I think just getting a little bit faster for me was really all I want. Like just doing what I am doing right now is a blast for me.
Right?
Mhm.
Well, you're definitely because guys like when I talk about Tito, you've heard me say Tito before. Well, when I showed up at the race, Tito come to me and he said, I have competition this week. And I'm like, uh-oh. He goes, and it's a kid. I'm like, uh-oh. And Tito is really good. And we all joke around. We call him Cheeto in the group that we're in. And because he's just so fast. You know how he flies, just going through them gates and all that. This guy was up there running like a half a second faster than Tito on the track. And his battery said, nope. But yeah, so that goes to show you, like, you are definitely fast. So, and you're like, I want to go faster. It's like, oh, okay.
I want to be up there with Heads Up FPV. And do you know who RaceBot is?
Race spot? No, I don't think
He's
I've heard of
13 or 14.
him. No, I don't follow a lot of the racing guys.
He's extremely fast.
Okay.
And, like he's won multiple races against some of the best. And
Who was it? Captain? The one, that kid. He's real fast too.
Vander,
Yeah, Captain Vander. Yes.
he's like the world champion, I think, right now.
Right.
And he's like 17 or 18, I think.
So, do you see yourself setting out to like that be your goal to be?
Yeah, that is my goal. That
Okay.
like getting up there is really my goal.
And I say that because when we go to the track, like, I know it's far fetched, but
Mm-hmm.
I look at better pilots like at the track and like go, okay, I want to be that, And so far, I've given myself goals and I've hit them. So if I really wanted to get into the racing thing, I got liftoff sitting right here. I now have goggles I could put on and play it and all that. So I have been doing it a little more than I met you because I'm like, wow, because you got what, 300 hours now? You say?
No, I have almost 700 hours.
Almost 700 hours.
It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah.
That's a lot. Hey, you did it right because you took and put that time in a simulator versus into the real quads for one, because that's the route that you could take. And, you didn't break a ton of stuff and throw a lot of money at it.
Yeah.
And you just come out like right out the gate and just say, okay, give me the quad,
Mm-hmm.
Have you found the simulator to be harder or the real quad to be harder?
I feel like the real quads are easier. Like some people will say that the simulator is so easy, and you crash, you just keep going, whatever. But when I'm playing on simulators, I'll have full simulation. I'll have battery practice on. I'll have when I crash, like it'll bend a prop, or if I crash super hard, I'll basically die. And I don't have it to where like it's infinite, whatever.
Right.
And I feel like it's not easy. It's definitely challenging. And even with this stuff on, I've set like 6 world record times on the simulator.
Right.
Yeah, and like I've spent probably 30 or 40 hours on just one of the tracks.
Holy cow. Yeah, because you come up there. So when you were more or less running that track, so when I showed up, you were already in the goggles running it, and you looked like you helped set that track up. Like you went around and designed where all the gates were going to be. Like you were just through that thing, and that's why I was like, how do you do that? And that's when you told me, well, I go through many tracks on liftoff. And I'm with you on the quad is easier because I found that to be just as right because I find that I go on and I tune lift off the quad I'll pick. I'll tune it to the best of my quad that I'm flying, and then I still see that it is just a touch harder because you don't have the wind, you don't have like you can have the noise, but it's really not the noise.
No.
Lift off, they did change here lately, but it kind of before when you like looked at a tree kind of coming up like this, it's like the realistic part of it. So that made it harder to do dives. You had to pull back out of them faster.
And
So
the gravity is harder for me. Like
exactly.
The gravity, sometimes it just feels floaty. And when you want to do like a dive or something, you have to like look more down. It doesn't just carry you downward. You have to fly down.
Right, exactly.
Like in tracks where it's a lot of ups and downs, that's really hard. But they've gotten a little bit better with that.
Right. Brian, Greg, okay.
It's not Greg. It's Greg.
No, I know it wasn't Greg. So, all right. Next question. So your experience about flying, when you bump into other pilots, do they see like a kid just with a high tech toy, or do they see a pilot?
So there have been like one or two people that like they didn't really like think anything of me. They just probably thought I was just a kid or something.
Okay.
But then I started racing, and then I started beating them, and then they're like, okay, this isn't just a little kid having fun with a little drone. I'm someone who's extremely serious.
Yes, I saw that day that you were extremely serious at it. And that's what I thought because you have people that, well, not only that, it's the fact of your skill because you even told me that day, hey, man, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, trust me. As soon as I crash, my quad just lays out there and I just take the goggles off and start watching him. So. What is Ryan in here doing? But yeah, so like I said, I think it's cool that the passion you have, building, tuning, and like I said, I got to be on your goggles when I was, lapping for you, and your quad looked to be on point, like as far as you going in them gates and whatnot. So the tune looked really nice.
Yeah, I've tuned it to where there's no prop wash, like at all.
Gotcha.
Like I can turn a 180 and like no vibrations. It's just super smooth.
Gotcha.
But, Lehan, tell the guys what you do fly.
What do you mean? What I do fly?
What drone do you fly?
What frame and all is it? Do you know?
Here, let me just grab it quickly.
All right. Happy Lux, welcome.
Hang on, let me put my earbuds in again. Okay, so this is my Success Quad. It is the frame is a MRM Reaper Stretch X frame. I have the X Nova 2207 1800 kV motor, so a little bit more pop. And then I have the Lumineer 35 amp 6S ESCs, the CL Racing at 4S flight controller, the Unified Pro HV VTX, the Foxier Predator V2, the Lumineer Axie. This is the one that Tito gave me, and that I
Okay.
got from him. And then I'm like always running these props. They are the Gemfan Hulky 5055, like the super high pitch props, and they seem like they would take up a ton of juice, but for me on 6S, they're pretty efficient and they have tons of power. I
Gotcha.
think this quad would probably go up to 120 miles per hour without the canopy and the little extra things I have on here.
Now the canopy, do you actually run a camera, or do you just use that for more or less protection?
I used to have a camera. It was like a fake, like Chinese one,
Okay.
but that broke, and
Okay.
I just kept this one on here to help me flip over when I have turtle mode running. I haven't set turtle mode up on this one yet, but I'm going to. And then
Nightcap cook.
and then I do like a little bit of extra weight sometimes around a track. You know, I don't think weight is a bad thing in racing. And
Right.
then you have like an 800 gram quad. That's not. I would never use something that.
Now, one question that's been asked: did you build that yourself?
Yes, I did. I built it and rebuilt it because it had some vibration issues in the beginning, and then I rebuilt it and tuned it all myself. And some of these parts are from one of my other quads. So.
And what camera angle are you running?
Normally around 50 to 60 degrees.
Yeah, because that camera is like looking up the clouds.
That's what everybody was commenting about. They wanted to know if you actually built that yourself, and look at that camera angle.
Yes,
So,
and I'm gonna tell you guys, his drone's like this when he's going through the gates. It's just.
so I'm like when I'm running 50 degrees camera tilt, I'm looking at the ground half the time.
Jeez.
I don't like. I've tried 70 degrees, and while it does push me to go faster, I feel like when I do want to slow down, I'm just looking at the sky and I can't see anything.
Okay.
But right now I'm at 50, 55, 60 degrees. That's where I like it.
And his goggles, guys, trust me, he's still on like entry level.
Lehan, show the guys your goggles.
If he had the stuff that we had, I couldn't even imagine how he would be rolling. He would probably already be on DRL. Well, of course.
Here, let me grab them.
So I asked him at the track, I was like, hey, do you want to use my goggles? He's like,
There you
nope, these.
These are my goggles.
Look at that, guys.
Ishin EV800.
Now, do they do good with the distance that you run on the track?
Not really. Like their range is awful, but the video I wouldn't say is that bad. And then the DVR module, it's like a cheap Ishin one.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad actually. Like you can look at my channel and my video is not bad.
I have one of those, and yeah, they are. It's not that bad, but man, the Fat Shark one just overrides that thing.
Yeah.
Like I just thought it was DVRs. Like I thought DVR is a DVR. And it's just like so much clearer. And I think that's more because it doesn't have diversity onto it. And it's like a standalone DVR.
Yeah.
Built into it.
I've gone to a race where some guy let me use his goggles. They were like Fat Shark HD3s with like really nice antennas and everything. And on the track, I think I was like 4 or 5 seconds faster. Like just with his goggles. And that was just for the practice day, though. And then he left for the race day, so I didn't get to fly with them. So I was struggling a little bit more.
Yeah, guys, the link that I'm putting in chat is Lehan's channel, and so if you just watch some of his videos as he flies, you'll see what Chris is talking about. And I'm telling you, I got to watch him in
Night
person.
Train.
And you know, here I'm sitting in between the guys of everything, okay? I've got Chris sitting on this side of me, and I got Lehan sitting on this side of me, and they're racing against each other.
Well,
And I'm like, well, sort of. It was supposed to be a race against each other. But, you know, it was amazing to watch. Okay, I have a noob drone racer on this side, and I have a young racer sitting on this side
night EBR.
that is so much more experienced. And just to watch your style was amazing. The potential you have at your age alone. That's why I say the sky is the limit for you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I'm gonna turn on my TV one day and it's gonna be like Lehan Vander. I'm like, what?
Right? Now, what you said you wanted to fly helicopters or planes. Is that what your career path would be? Still?
I still would love to do that. But I think right now, I actually want a music career. That's what I want right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love singing. What I want to be one day is a worship pastor. That's what I want to be.
Okay, sweet.
There you go. And who knows? You can be possibly filming with the drone as you're performing. So you can still incorporate your hobby.
I will film you. I have a Inspire One 4K. And Yup Squirrel in the chat, he's really good. He flies into the trees a lot, like always. Like he just fly. I think he flies like 60 degrees on the camera, and he's just always just like rolling up into the trees and stuff like that. It just looks so cool watching stuff like that. And he actually, so we call him Squirrel, and he actually has Oscar, a pet squirrel that lives in his house. He's built him a little habitat. He walks around with him.
Awesome.
Yeah, we do it with a bunny, and he does it with a squirrel.
Yeah, Yep Squirrel wants to know if you need a manager, but I think your dad's already filling in on that position.
I fly like I'm in a recliner. You sure do. But I've been playing with the trees a lot, going in them. That you do get less intimidated by them when you just go into the tree. Like don't just go into the tree and just follow the limbs around, just like a squirrel would do. I have found that to be where I don't even care about these big trees over here no more, because it's like I know all about them now. I'm like, okay, if my quad gets stuck, I know where it's going to be at. So.
Let me see. I have a video on my channel where I play around with the trees a little bit. And I actually love playing around with trees, going through the branches.
Yes.
And what's surprising is I love 50, 60 degrees for racing, but when I'm freestyling, I go 20, 25 degrees. Like, right. I don't like high camera tilts for racing. Or not for racing, for freestyle.
For freestyle, I got you. And that's what I'll find myself doing that. I'll just take the quad, and then I'll find whatever angle I feel comfortable with on that. Sometimes the way that the frames are designed, the camera's still way up there, you know? And that's when I find myself like moving a lot faster. But if I want to do that slower through the limb stuff, yeah, I kind of use like a lower angle, because you don't want to be pitched real high going through the trees. You're definitely going to crash it on that point.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. Like I said, it's cool that you're passionate into it. Like I said, if you do what you're doing in quads with singing, performing, then you got it. But it's good because, like I said, you don't find, like, a lot of people fly, but you don't find a lot of passionate people into it. And I think that's when I say passionate, I mean like to the point where when I got into it, that's what I said. I said, well, if I get into it, I want to learn beta flight and stuff like that, because I don't have no one around me that does it. So you would have to, like you do for people, send it out, and they do to me also now. Send it to me and I'll fix it for them or tune it or whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of like, I feel like I know everyone can't grab a hold of the configurator because it is kind of tough to learn. I know
Yeah.
I know just about what it takes to get it done. Like as far as going in, like I can resource motors and stuff like that now, and you know
Yeah.
things I've learned went through. But I mean, I entice anyone to try it. Plug your quad in and
Yeah.
just don't change nothing. Just look at things. Is how I did it. And when I first got my one quad, eDrone give me a eSheen Wizard. Once I got that, I could plug into that and then see what things look like, and then that's how I taught myself basically. I've messed some things up. Like there's a couple of flight controllers that just didn't want to do what I wanted to do, but you know, it's all about the learning process. You're gonna mess something up learning because no one's perfect, you know.
And if you're intimidated by it, watch Joshua Bardwell.
Yeah, exactly.
I probably watched like 100 of his videos. That's like what I watch when I want to know something.
True story. I had the Joshua Bardwell F4 V1 in my quad when I first started building. I was coming down the field. It did what I call ejectocito, cuz like I was coming down the field, it just went boing and shot me off into the trees. I was like, whoa, that was ironic. So then I come in, and at that time I had, man, maybe 700 subscribers, if that, I think. And so he was probably pushing 90,000. So I was like, dude, and I did a video, why would people buy the Joshua Bardwell board if it's just what it does, you know? Thinking he wouldn't give a crap about me bashing his board. He instantly came into my live stream that night. And yeah, and he, you know, comes to find out, he will. If you need help, you comment on his channel, he will be right there to help you. He will not turn you down. He's fast responder. Yep, and that's awesome. I thought that was really cool about him, and I felt like an egghead because I kind of, I guess, was ignorant at the time and didn't give it a fact that he was a big guy, and I was like, he's not going to care if I bash his board. No one's going to care about that. I basically, to give it my opinion, if you think about it, but then later down the road, as I got more in the building, got more learning, and I come to realize it was the ESCs I was using. Because later I changed out the flight controller, used the same ESCs on another flight controller, took it out. I could just go off my deck and over my gate, and it would almost look like I just took the drone, kind of like I just went out there with my hand and just hopped over the fence and right down the steps. It would bounce that much, like it was crazy. And then that's when I come to find out, it was the ESCs, 20 amp ESCs. That's why I won't mess with them no more. To this day, I won't touch them.
I had 20 amp ESCs, and they were on 2405 motors.
Okay.
And I didn't really know like what amperage was good back then. Like that was a long time ago.
Right.
And I was like, why does this feel so slow? I have these big motors on it. I have a light frame, and then like I switched my ESC out to a 35 amp one, and I'm like, this is so much faster. And all I did was change the ESC.
Yep, amazing difference. And you know, a lot of people don't realize. I saw you at Vampire. Vampire wants me to give you his number. The one that's right there in Newcastle by you. But yeah, so that's another thing people don't realize when they're building. So a lot of people use the Maytech PDB. Well, they don't realize that they're using like say, I don't know, 35 amp draw motors. Well, that just the stock PDB only puts out 25 amps, and they're like, I want more out of my drone. I got these big motors and I just can't figure it out. Go to a different PDB, wakes them things right up. Unbelievable power at that point. John C, welcome. So once I get my new flashlight, I'll start on my drone. Cool beans. Yeah, Reaper is in Alabama, Chad. And guys, check out D's Nuts channel. He lost his drone, the Baby Hawk R Pro. It flew into a facility, and they would not let him in there to look for it.
Oh no.
I would have been climbing a fence, maybe on the backside, but
Yeah, I have a friend who had who broke the ESC on the Emax Baby Hawk R Pro. I love that thing though. Those things are awesome.
It is. I have the I don't have the Pro. I have the Baby Hawk R. It's a 3-inch that flies like a 5-inch.
Yeah.
It is amazing, different. Chris Riley, welcome, brother. And then Chris Riley, what I like Chris is like, he'll take anything as long as he can fly. He doesn't care. He'll take and put two S batteries together to make a 4S. He'll take
Oh.
yeah, he'll take like a 4-in-1 ESC if it's burnt out. He'll take an ESC and put it out on the arm and just use the 3 off the 4-in-1.
Wow.
Whatever it takes to fly, Chris will get it done. He's actually heated up props that didn't have much pitch to them and actually twist his own pitch onto the prop.
Wow. That's a bit. Wow.
Yeah, and because he's he lives down in Tennessee. Did I get that right? Or Mississippi? Chris in Mississippi. Chris in Mississippi. I always say Tennessee, Chris. So he's down in Mississippi, and he's kind of like helping his parents and all that. So he's like always running into money issues too, where he just can't buy parts when he breaks them.
Yeah.
He makes whatever. He'll take, dude, whatever it takes. I've seen him put different KVs on each arm of the quad, and that thing would be out there flying.
Wow.
So that's what's cool, because like we're all a big family, like I said here, and we like to help each other out. Which that I took a flight controller right out of a flying drone and just said, "Here you go." And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone will tell you in here, it's just the Lumineer. I don't like Lumineer. Just haven't had really good things with them.
Yeah, I don't really like these Lumineer 35 NPSCs that I have in my 6S quad.
I gotcha.
I don't know. They act funny sometimes.
Yeah, and that's like, okay, my floss. I got the Kakute F4 into it. It's the B1. It has that kind of crazy soft mounted gyro.
Yeah.
What I was getting in my motors was it was going like a kink, 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 right? So I turned around and just put some E6000 down through the top plate to secure that gyro. So I thought what it was doing this as I was moving, that soft.
Yeah.
So now I kind of like went over, and I when I say tune, I'm just like play with things. Like I'm not like nothing, as far as like sitting down and figuring out, which I know that's how, basically do it. Just fly it, feel it, change, whatever. But so I went out and tuned it, was it a couple of days ago in the park. I got a video up on the FPV NoobTube channel about it. And so then today in the wind, I guess the wind would make it act different though, but today in the wind seemed like it had that to the motors back for some reason. So I'm wondering, a lot of people told me the Kakute F4 is just not that great of a flight controller. So
have you tried the Rotor Riot F4? It has a soft mounted gyro.
No, I was actually going to put a Diatone 405 stack into it, the full size.
But I've had 2 of the Rotor Riot F4 all-in-one boards, all in PDB, soft mounted gyro, all that, and both of them, I'd put it on my quad, all set up, and then I'd plug the quad in, and the motors would start twitching out of nowhere. It just started twitching, and I contacted them the first time, and they sent me a new board, and that board had the same problem. And then I bought a new board. I think it was the Joshua Bardwell F4, and it worked fine. So I don't think I'm gonna do soft-mounted gyros anymore. I don't think. Yeah,
that's what I got this took it out of a bird, so I was like, well, throw it in there, just try it, see what it does. Ryan, aka These Nuts, I could 3D print a prop, but to be honest with you, to balance it and get it all right, I think that's where the trouble will come in. Probably wear motors out, and maybe if say it was a drone that I couldn't get props for, I would go down that road. But where they're just like so cheap props nowadays, they're kind of like, I say a dime a dozen, but about $3 a pack to average, I guess. But yeah, if I had to print one, I definitely would do it. Flight One represent. Yeah, so we have like one's Flight One. Jeremy, he likes Schizo. That's his boy right there, man. Can't.
I love Ladrib.
Ladrib, okay. I don't really follow as far as any of them, but I like what they do. But I would have to say probably Ladrib too, because his skills are just so crazy. Like the stuff that he flies and hits, but But Jeremy knows I'm not into Flight One, and it's not basically. It's nothing to do with schizo. It's just the way they. I think you have to pay. I went on and tried to get it one time. The program, the configurator, or something is like you had to apply for it or something. I don't know. Do you have to pay like a fee for it or something? So I wasn't sure on that. Bob Biker, welcome. But so what did so DRL? You have to be a certain age to get on that, right?
Yes, you have to be 18.
Oh man, so you got
And
4 years to go.
yeah, I have a friend who placed like top 3 on the simulator, and he's just too young, so he
Wow.
couldn't get in, which I think is really dumb. For it just
Yeah, you would think.
I would say like maybe 16 isn't too bad, but I mean there are a lot of kids out there that aren't able to do it.
Right, Richard. I think I saw a guy actually print a prop before he took the pin, which I have machines, so I think it would do a lot better. But he just took an outline to Phantom prop and he just filled it all in. He filed it down, balanced it, and then put it on his Phantom. And he flew it. I mean, it definitely could be done, but I would probably let the companies go ahead and keep making those. Because my luck, it would go down, especially one of my GPS birds or something.
I agree with Mike on that. It should be 16 for the pilot age. You can get your pilot's license at 16.
Yeah, true. You get your pilot license at 16, so they should at least have that, at least 16. But you would think they'd have like a youth at least class, kind of. I know they don't want to kind of get, I guess because of all the laws and stuff like that, they don't want to kind of, have you of age or whatever, but they can have like a youth class because I feel like there's so much talent out there that they're kind of shoving away due to them not just being of age. It's kind of not like they're going out trying to buy a handgun or something underage, of course.
No, it's like my train says, it's probably the insurance and the legality.
That's what I'm thinking, the insurance and stuff like that. Simple Arts, welcome. Phantom has much. Oh, I know, right? Then a race drone, a Phantom. Oh God, spinning them props. That's what I said. The 2750 iFlight Zing motors I got when I run them on 5S. That's why I don't want to put them on 6S. I said it'd be like spinning a drill. I don't even want to even come try to do that. I think it would just be so stupid. Might even spin the prop off. Who knows? Thomas, welcome.
Guys, for all of you who have joined in, please welcome Lehan Vander. Have been dropping his link throughout. Lehan's also in chat some, so
Trying to be
14 and into drone racing. I personally have got to see him race, guys.
And whoop her husband.
Well, I wasn't. This is our future. This kid has the potential to do anything and anything he wants with drones. So please make him feel welcome. Please show him some love. He honestly isn't very far from us, and just
Your
like
name
Chris
is
said,
Tim. Cool.
he physically raced it. I was sitting in between these two. It was quite interesting.
I hit the ground. I wouldn't say race. I think at the third heat, I made a lap and 3/4.
I made 5 laps, I think.
You did.
In the race, in the practice, I made 7 laps. But that was
Holy
just
cow.
practice. That was my first run, though.
And I think that's why. So when everyone pretty much left, I started going back and hitting it. I was going right through the gates, even with the wind gusts. I think it's because I didn't get to go around the track. I get lost on the track. I do. Like I know Rob goes look for the print to be facing you as you go through, but I still like duh. I get like lost because they change, each week. If they were like the same, then I would understand them. So that's a question I want to ask you. So did you see any of the tracks, what was set up in Harrington on Liftoff? Is there any track that you feel that was close to that, or?
I don't think I looked for a track like that.
I got you.
But there's like tons of different styles of tracks that you can look for. And I tried to build my own track, but I think my computer's like glitched or something in the track builder. I
I
tried
tried
to.
to build mine too, and it was like I couldn't move the barrier like out where I wanted to put it. It's kind of like would drop it right around me or something.
Mhm. And I just couldn't look around like with the mouse. Like it wouldn't let me look around. Weird.
Gotcha. Right.
And the really cool thing about Lehan, guys, is he's homeschooled, and his dad likes to keep him humble. So he has to earn his fly time going to the races. It's not just, oh, this is what I'm going to do, so I'm on that path. So, he's a very well-rounded individual and brings a lot to our hobby, even at this young age. I mean, the moldable age that he is, and he's able to share his knowledge with people of our age. I won't say older because Night Train didn't like that tone that I used earlier.
Hey, it's like when my son, like if he really got into it, he would do it. And look, I couldn't figure out why he did good at the gates that day. I flew his reverb yesterday. I kind of forgot that I put a tune on his reverb, and I'm telling you what, I must have been half asleep when I did it one night because that thing flies amazing. No prop bars, no nothing. It just flip it backwards, it comes right back and just goes that way. It's like real smooth. I'm like, no wonder you were going through those gates that day. I said, man, because I just built the reverb yesterday. Mine was all over the place. Like, I was like, holy cow. So now I know what I'm going to do. And that's actually the same flight controller. So I'm going to go into CLI, dump his, copy and paste and put it in mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve FPV, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by.
Okay, Thomas prefers retro or vintage. How about experienced?
That's a good one.
Yeah, experienced.
Although I don't know. I mean, Lehan has more experience flying than I do, so I can't even say I'm experienced. I guess I'm going to have to go with retro.
I just sent you Vampire's number in your messenger.
Okay. I
Mike
see it.
says that will fly like crap
Okay.
for you, Chris.
Right, Mike? That's exactly what I said, because the difference in his so he's got little B 30 amp ESCs, which they're running it's running D-Shot 300, which is kind of weird, and so mine is running he's got 2450 bot grinder motors on his, and I'm running 2750 T motors on mine with 30 amp Fly Keller Raptor ESCs. So I'm 2,000 more kV than him. So the tune might show mine a little different, I think.
No, Lehan Vampire doesn't have Facebook, but he does do Discord.
Okay. I have Discord.
Oh, your boys race Vampire? That's cool.
Hang on.
Jerry Calvary, welcome. Hey Jerry, I went ahead and put that video up, and I got quite a bit of people sending props this way, so, or to you if they've already talked to you and got the address or whatnot. So we're on the roll with that. Hey, Lehan, I don't know if you saw that. If you want to sign one and mail to me or something, Jerry Calvary in the chat, he does a STEM program with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to do like a box and hang up our props and show everybody.
Yeah. Okay. How many props does he want?
I'll just take one and sign your name to it, and then
Okay.
like mine, I'm gonna do MD95 TSI on one finger, then at YouTube on the other finger, and then .com on the other finger, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I can fit it all on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad, Jerry, you stopped in, because I thought you would really be excited about the guest tonight. 14-year-old, because I know you work with a lot of kids with the STEM program. So, and they have like challenges and stuff that they were going into and stuff like that. It's really, really cool, like, to do that. I was in a group up here called M4. They had the STEM program, but they were just kind of taking the money and fixing their own things and doing their own stuff with it instead of bringing in what they were. I committed to once a month drone, set up and teach people about the drones and stuff like that. Awesome, brother. Speaking of awesome, Jeremy. Smoke it. Gonna smoke some meat. Oh yeah, that's right. Vampires in Discord. That's right. That's more Discord. I got you. That'd be cool if you guys get up and fly together, right close to each other.
And there's
Yeah.
the Drone Network's Discord link, and Vampire is also in there, so you guys can hook up there. And
I hear you, Steve. And see, that's the thing. I do it all. So I do the camera birds. I have toy grade birds. I do the freestyle. I'm trying to do the race. Like I go to the hang out at the multi GP and I more or less just do it to have fun. Basically, I like to see myself get into it more or less like Lehan's into it, but it's like I know it helps you either both ways. I think either the freestyler or the racer, it helps hand in hand. I think. Because I think if you're like the freestyler, then racing, it would help you hit more like gaps and stuff like that at higher speed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, Jerry. Ain't gonna post nothing to that channel, just on there for that because of your work or cool boings. So Lehan, Crystal usually does like news at 8 o'clock, so we can go ahead and let you go. If I don't want to hold you up all night or whatever, but I want to say thank you for stopping in. When you do get that build and you want to, or that work that you do and you want to come in and share it with us, we would all love to have you on.
So he's not actually gonna send it.
Okay.
He's gonna wait for me to go down to Florida.
I got you. Okay.
Well, my dear, if you get to, if you're allowed to stream while you're in Florida, you are welcome anytime as a guest of the Drone Network.
Indeed. Like I said, thank you so much.
Appreciate you hanging out with us and sharing your knowledge.
And how far are you from Dover, actually? So if I drove to Dover one day, do you think that's possible to meet up? I think what's Dover? How far is Dover?
I think it's an hour.
Oh, an hour from. Okay.
I'll check quickly.
So we'll figure something out. I'll drive further than Dover. That ain't no problem. Like it's well worth it. Come up, hang out. Or if you got like a spot up there to fly or something, park.
Yeah, I got a couple spots right near me.
Okay. So we'll do something. We'll get together and we'll ride up that way and fly, do something. I might bring a couple more pilots with me that might come down here and visit me, and we might just cruise up and see you. And
yeah,
let's get hooked up and do some flying.
That'd be awesome.
Fool us all. Just don't whoop us really bad. But again, thank you for your time and keep at it, man. You're awesome in our hobby, and we look forward to seeing your progression.
All right. Have a good time.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, like we told you, we had a very special guest, the future of drones.
No doubt.
He does races. He does freestyle.
Oh, really, Steve? You've been to Dover many a times? Well, I'm in actually right outside of Ocean City, Maryland. But yeah, so that's what was cool, because when I met Lehan at the track, like I said, it was an event, Delmarva Expo, and it was just cool to meet someone like that young that was passionate into the hobby. And when you guys, like I said, if you haven't went to his channel, check him out. He is like really, really nice. You can see he's respectable. The whole 9 yards, like just personality and everything fits. So that it was like, yeah, we got to have him on the show. And he's like, hey, so it all worked out. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed him. And we'll hopefully get him on doing a build one day or something, or working on something, but always welcome back. He's still in chat now. Awesome. Oh, you gonna watch freestyle? Sweet.
and I know you missed it, but Palladian's name is Tim.
Yes, I saw he said his name was Tim. Okay. Thank you, Palladian, for stopping by and hanging out with us. It's the first time I saw you here.
He didn't say he was leaving.
No, I didn't say he was leaving. I'm just saying thank you for finding us. Wait. Respectable for the show. Yeah, and that's what so I was kind of nervous, and I knew you guys would keep it more or less clean and whatnot. And that was my only worry, because YouTube does kind of not like that when the younger audience is on. But it's, man, I was like, his talent, he has to be exposed. People have to know, what he's about, what he's doing, because my passion, and I just jumped in and just like do it. And I love linking people, like me and Josh was talking earlier. That's the whole point of doing this. Like, do it to share your knowledge, linking up with people, build a squad, get a squad together. Like Steve said, he said there's a lot of DJI people down in his area. There's not many FPV. See, that goes hand in hand in every area. And the show, I was doing a lot of the FPV and race drone stuff, talking about it. But I'll talk about anything. If anyone wants me to fly, I have an Aspire 1. I'll be glad to do a flight with. The Solo, the Phantom 2. I lost kind of interest in the drones, the camera birds, because I filmed pretty much everything around me. So it was kind of like, well, unless you're like going places and traveling, but it's no excuse. Like, I could do more and add it into my flights. You're new here, Bob Biker? Well, we work on motorcycles and stuff here, and Bob's a trip. I'm looking for the large. Tim, you're going to want to stay tuned, and if Crystal could drop a link to the FPV YouTube channel, because you said largest motors, and so there's, let's just say, I think something's going to surprise a lot of people coming. So we're supposed to have someone show up with something epic. Never know. Might see it the tiniest, might see the largest.
Hey, come on now. Does size really matter?
And if you guys are in the neighborhood, when's the Nuba? Is it?
Nuba Palooza starts on the 19th.
Yes, the 19th of this month. If you guys are anywhere around Delaware, it's gonna be going on for a week. So if you're anywhere near, get up with us. Felton, Delaware. It's gonna be so far me, Chuck It FPV, Josh Withrow, Joseph Ford, E-Drone, Mama Bird FPV. She actually flies, but she won't be flying there. She might hurt somebody. We'll all have to have helmets.
Hey now. I haven't hit you yet.
And it's a couple more pilots are scheduled to show up, so we'll see how that turns out. Everybody's trying to bounce it around their schedule, but we're going to run it for more or less like a week hangout. We're going on the 19th to the multi-GP field and hit some gates. Whoa, he said my drone is 9 feet long and 12 feet wide. Holy cow. I have to go to your channel and check that out.
Right, Steve? Flying with friends is always the most fun.
Building?
No matter what, it's always
yes.
more fun to share your hobby with people who share the same interests.
And that's the part of linking up, spreading out, bringing people that you see with the talent in. Not just, they don't have to have the talent. They could just be interested into it. And we're going to get them into it, show them what it's all about. But it's like, yeah, so that's what I said with this. So people's like, not a lot of people, but some are kind of judgmental. Like, what do you get flying those things? Well, for one, the squad that we have, the Amigo group that we have is amazing. And the family that we have here of you guys, I mean, I wish we all could fly together, but one day maybe we'll get together. But yeah, it's good to go out, fly with others, learn things, show them what you've learned, and have fun.
Ed just gives you the challenge.
Oh.
He said, I haven't been trying hard enough. He wants to see you running across the field with my drone behind you.
Oh, God. Well, I kind of wear a helmet, Ed, so I don't have to run when she flies.
You do not. That's it. Ball game. I'm going to have to get close enough to you to prove to them that you don't have a helmet on.
But yes, you have to. If you're like, when I tell people, man, I was out today and this guy, and I'll usually show a video on like our little group we're in. I'm like, guys got my goggles on or whoever's goggles around us, and we're showing them, and while another one's flying. And they're like, I don't get that experience. I wish you could, because you see the excitement in people. Like, whoa, look at this. Like, for instance, I put my goggles on. The guy, he flies the Maryland State Medevac, the helicopter ambulance thing. Well, he was, the senior pilot, and he's retired now, but he was real intrigued over it. Chuck it, welcome. Man, you missed the show. You missed Lehan, bro. But Chuck It is exactly who I was talking about. Noobapalooza. Noob. He's going to be there for sure. He's actually headed closer this way. They give him a load, so he drives a truck on the road. Going to be epic time. You said, wait a minute, Dano wants to come next Saturday. Is that going to fall in with that?
Saturday, Noobapalooza starts up there.
Oh, he comes the day before it starts. What?
And you know what's really insane?
What, your ears are burning? I bet they were. What?
Hold on.
That's cool. Dano wants to come fly. That's awesome, because I remember when I started doing this, I was like, man, wouldn't it be fun to have people fly out in the field? And now I've done had Ryan come down and fly with E-Drone, Josh. Going to be flying with Chuck It.
Oh,
Fly with freaking Joseph Ford. You guys, Joe don't have a channel on YouTube, so you guys know Joe, though, from the Noob channel.
I knew it.
What?
Guess what else is Saturday?
The airplane show.
Yep. That's okay. Daniel's got his pilot's license, so he'll be good with it.
I ain't don't ever go much walking. No way, you know that.
Well, you go right ahead. I'm going to fly, period. End of discussion.
Muscle FPV. There you go. He's going to come, I think, a couple days that he's off, so he'll be there. All right,
You
Ryan,
just never
cool.
know when Muscle FPV is off.
I'll get it together for you when it gets here. Figure it out. Get her back to you. Yeah, he just works all the time, so I know he's going to be there. I'd say at least one day. Birdman, what's up? That grab pics, sweet.
Did a crazy impossible landing.
Uh-oh. Crazy
Was it a scheduled
impossible
crash?
landing.
An unscheduled crash. A flip flop.
A splat.
Split.
Need to repair drone type of landing.
I don't know. Mike said he repaired his Mobula now, so.
Sweet. I don't know. I think Ryan, well, we might, Chuck, when we go to Baltimore, we'll see how that works out, but maybe stop up and see Ryan, because he's right in Baltimore. If we go up there and meet up with Cricket. I don't know where Cricket's at up in Baltimore, what area of Baltimore.
Yeah, when you say Baltimore, Baltimore isn't just like a little town.
Oh, no, I know. Well, I grew up there. I know
yeah,
that.
but they may not realize that.
Oh, hey, Chris. Did you like the floating props? Dude, Mike, I'd love to rip that battleground that you were at. That place with those trees, yes. Always coming to Baltimore too? Sweet. All right. Crystal's going to do her news. And I'm going to grab some dinner.
Oh, how's that fair? I know. Y'all used to always eat when I did the news. Can't break up tradition. Right, Bob? Careful flying naked with goggles on. Ouchies happen.
News.
All right, guys. In our drone news tonight, officials in South Florida are excited to announce that they'll be engaging in drone warfare. The Florida Keys Mosquito Control District is going to be spending the summer using drones to spread larvicide over the salt marshes that annoying and potentially infectious mosquitoes used as breeding grounds. A high-tech attempt to keep the pest population in check, and one that stands to save the state a great deal of money, officials say. The Mosquito Control Organization already uses drones to search for remote pools of water. Now the drones will be able to carry 7 or 8 pounds of larvicide, enough to spray up to 2 acres, so that they can treat those remote pools themselves, a task usually assigned to expensive helicopters. It's only treating very small areas, Florida Keys Mosquito Control District Executive Director said. We want to make sure that we're precise with this. It's really starting out, seeing exactly what this can do for us. But the best part of all is they're willing to give it a chance. In other news, UK drones map Chernobyl's red forest. The robotic aircraft flew novel sensors that have given Ukrainian authorities more up-to-date information on the sites with the greatest contamination. The Red Forest is just 500 meters from Chernobyl's nuclear complex. It was hit by the immediate fallout from the 1986 explosion and fire in the plant's number 4 reactor. Many of the forest trees died and turned orange. Some areas are still strictly out of bounds to humans. The UK's National Centre for Nuclear Robotics, the NCNR, has developed a drone mapping system that allows scientists to investigate hazardous places from a safe distance. Fixed-winged craft are first used to make a general radiation map by flying at about 40 miles per hour just above the treetops in a grid pattern. Places of interest are then followed up with rotary-winged drones. These can hover and use their sensors to acquire high-definition 3D information. The survey conducted in April essentially confirmed that the current understanding of the radiation disturbance in the forest, but in far greater detail than had been previously available before. The drones also identified a few unexpected hotspots. One of these, a few kilometers to the south of the forest, turned out to be an old soil separation unit that was used during the original cleanup efforts. They were trying to separate out the contamination and therefore reduce the volume of waste, said Professor Tom Scott from Bristol University and co-director of the NCNR. The legacy left at that facility is essentially spent nuclear fuel scattered on the floor, which is going to have a very high radiation dose. That would mean I'd be able to hit my yearly dose of radiation within a few hours. The NCNR team plans to go back to the Ukraine in the coming months to survey additional areas in Chernobyl's 2,600-kilometer exclusion zone, which is permitting more and more people to enter it over time. Some 70,000 tourists even visited the zone last year, and there are plans to use large areas of land deemed now to be low risk for solar generation. The British mapping exercise will help define the protocols used to ensure the safety of all entrants to the exclusion zone. The NCNR is a nationwide consortium of research experts tasked with developing the next generation of technologies that can be used to clean up Britain's 4.9 tons of legacy nuclear waste. Specialists in robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, sensors, electronics, and materials are working across 8 institutes centered on a hub at the University of Birmingham. One key goal is to come up with an autonomous robot that can efficiently and safely curate the waste. These tools are far more advanced than the systems people will know from car assembly lines. These robots are completely autonomous. They're driven by a few thousand lines of AI code. They use robotic vision systems. They see objects. They understand their position, their size, and their shape, and plan where to put fingers to achieve a stable grasp. They can clear a random cluttered heap of objects with no prior knowledge of those objects. This is the frontier of international robotics and AI research. It's hoped that many of NCNR's technologies will have export and spin-out potential. The drone system is already being tested for mineral prospecting. The drones fly at a height, which means they are more sensitive than if you fly in a helicopter or an airplane. Some of the minerals we'd be interested in are gold and rare earth elements and cobalt. Those are some of the most valuable materials we could think of, and as minerals, they all have characteristic radioactive anomalies. And in other news, new DJI product is on the horizon for May 15th, but this time it has underwater vibes. Drone industry leader DJI has confirmed the launch of a new product on May 15th. The teaser has some distinctly underwater vibes and is offered with the tagline, "Unleash your other side." It doesn't look as though a Phantom 5 is on the cards. The imagery can also seems to suggest a product that's waterproof, rather than just be able to fly in the rain. Squish! Welcome, my dear. So, what is it going to be? There are two possible products that could fit with DJI's Unleash Your Other Side teaser and the free diver imagery. The first is an underwater drone, which would be a marked departure from what the Chinese manufacturer has attempted up until this point. The second would be an underwater action camera, perhaps a waterproof version of the Osmo Pocket to rival GoPro's Hero range of rugged cameras. Interestingly, when the Osmo Pocket first launched, DJI said that an underwater case for it would soon be available. The idea was to allow users to dive with the camera to a depth of 60 meters. But that case still has not materialized and is not available to buy as an accessory from DJI. So, what is it going to be? Perhaps there is going to be a new type of Osmo that is completely waterproof.
Already?
Never know. You're going to have to wait and see on May 15th. Not many days away. But, when there's something new on the horizon, I try to bring you the up-to-date news. Now, who wants to fly this weekend?
It's come out with an Osmo though.
This is their newest product. We are going underwater in one way or another. Is it going to be a drone or is it going to be an underwater camera? You're going to have to wait and see on May 15th. Who knows? Maybe it will be a DJI Action Cam GoPro 7 Killer.
Uh-oh.
Never know. Gonna have to wait and find out. Yeah, I know, Chuck. You're flying no matter what. Well, hopefully we all get to fly. Exactly, Birdman. You know it. You know where I'm going with it. If it's nasty weather outside, like Mother Nature has just been a hateful, evil presence lately, she's been throwing hail and destroying things.
Oh, no,
She's been raining and soaking things. Poor Reaper's about to drown. Texas is about to drown. So break out the little guys and fly inside, or hop on the simulator, get some stick time in. Either way, put a controller in your hands, a smile on your face, and enjoy our hobby. Maybe, Chuck, she won't have any rain there at all. Oh, squishes in Texas. You are getting kind of squishy, aren't you, baby? I know, bored with whoops.
He likes flying.
But you know what? At least you get to fly something, even when it's nasty outside. You know, whoop weather is crappy weather outside. Bring it inside and have some fun. I'm trying not to upset Mother Nature, Ed, because knock on wood, it hasn't rained here yet. Not this week, anyway. So
it's coming.
Exactly. Mine's waterproof. Poor Richard's saying quack quack. I told you he was he was getting ready to float down there.
Yeah, check out Holy Squish channel, and you guys will see that it's waterproof.
See, formal coating, baby. Squish, 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 squish. But I'm gonna turn you back over to this one back here, because I'm gonna go eat some tater tots now.
They're softer than a chicken section.
Well, I know that. I've already had 3, but I wasn't telling you that.
Oh, okay. I thought someone missing.
Oh, like you counted.
Yep.
Oh, Eric's.
Yeah, and I don't want to cut the other support
No,
off
don't
of it
cut
as I did.
supports off this time.
As I did
Don't
one day.
snippity snips.
Yes, he does, guys. Definitely sub up the Holy Squish. Awesome dude. He's been in our group talking, hanging out with us.
And don't forget to make sure you show some love to Lehan, because these are our family members now, guys.
For sure.
So make sure you show them some love, and I'm sure they'll show you some love back. And we'll just keep our network on growing with real family.
Radar FPV, guys. They got some underwater footy with his Hawk 5. Ooh. Hopefully he had it C formal coated. Hit that water without that C formal coating, it doesn't do good. It will be ugly. I'm trying to get a freaking piece off here. Last time I did this, I cut the Charles and jokes and all. Oh, y'all can't be showing nothing. Not in the video. You gotta wait for me. But last time I cut this part here, wasn't paying attention, and this is the support. You guys don't get to see a lot of this when you do 3D printing. Just the support junk that's in there. And what it does is it makes it to where it just works better, because sometimes I can lay them down and print them the other way, but then when I do that, it kind of like doesn't put the one foot will be different, the screw hole through it, and that's one thing you don't want to jeopardize. So there's what it looks like when I get all that junk and yucky of it. It still has some webbing, because you got actually I was surprised this actually did good. I forgot I went in and set this I printed this with PLA settings and it's TPU, so still worked out. Could show you not much changes there. Catch up on chat. Oh, he does need a profile pic, don't he? Than just a dude. Gotta change that thing, man. Quad Fisherman. That's his name in our group. Because when I first met him, that's the first way I met was his feet. Jeremy, I'm running the TBS Unify HV. That's the $30 one from or actually $25 one from Pyro Flip. Got the MMCX connector onto it. It's not pink. Nah, it's red. This is for E-Drone. He's building it Impulse Reverb. So I've been printing them up a bunch of stuff for it.
Ooh, I got your phone.
I know. Huh? They better not be showing what I think they're showing in there. Better wait for me on that one. Joseph. Ryan, it's usually left-handed thread or right-handed. Yeah, the HV, Jeremy. Actually, almost the other day took that out of there. I was like, man, I need a VTX, and I almost robbed it out of my wing. Ain't that sad? And I was like, no, don't steal parts out of the wing already. He's like, can I have one of them tater dots? Sure can. Chicken tenders to go with it.
Yep.
They're kind of a little hard because I kind of left them in a little longer.
Yeah, when he said, "Whoops, hold on, I'll be right back."
We could smell it. We could smell it. It wasn't burnt, just a little on the crispier side.
I gotta train him a little better. He gets on the topic of drones, and look out, he even forgets to eat.
I do. That's not bad. Need cleaned up just a little bit more. Run a heat gun over to heat all that little webbing stuff off of it.
See, I knew I liked Lehan. He said he had dinner, but tater tots sound good. His mouth's watering.
Yep, tater tots. And I got some arm guards, stuff to clean them up. The mount for the back. Unify just goes on the back and then pops out there.
On his grocery list.
And then an Immortal T piece for his crossfire antenna. So I got to do, I think, the chin guard now, bumper for him. Some other couple little things. I have him straight, and I got to switch it to green and print Alvin a bunch of wizard stuff. Got to get that done for sure. You're awesome too, brother. Yep, fit right in, no doubt. Gonna put him on the grocery list. Yeah, Mike, that spot, man, that battlefield, dude, that place looked nice. I could definitely have fun riding around that thing on a drone. Coming down those trees, getting into the trees, actually going into the tree itself. That's really fun. You ain't never did that? Start out with a small one, something that's got kind of like a pine, probably. An older pine. Well, it's probably not going to be small, but stay low down or whatever, and just go through the limbs. Take your drone through there, man. It's so fun to move around those limbs inside of there. Yeah, Lehan, I used to say this about 10 shows ago. Now I'm 155. No, I'm kidding. I love doing this. I love like just sharing and, like I said, bringing different people in and getting, letting you meet them and then meet you and stuff like that. That's awesome. And anybody that wants to be on the show, like, hit me up, hit Crystal up. We'll get you lined up and get you on.
Don't hit too hard, though. I'm a softie.
There you go, bro. Almost 50. Yeah. And when I met you, I think you had what? I want to say 20. Told you, man. Good people. I'll start my new job. All right, John. Get up with Crystal on Facebook, and she'll get you on. Freaking ants. Ant season. They're coming in. 26. Cool. Cold beans. There you go. Mike said, I want a cookie. So you're liking that little Manus now, Mike, huh? That 5-inch you got, that Falcon, that thing would be a lot easier on you to learn to fly too. So like the Manus, think of the Manus, then think of it not being as angry, so to speak. The 5 inches, not that hard to handle, but the Manus is way smaller. I think the Nanos, micros are definitely harder to fly than the 5 inches and whatnot. So, but what makes the difference on that, where it'll throw you off and be really messed up, is because of them props under your motors. They got your motors like this, Richard's in here. He actually flies one of those, or used to fly one. And he said they are terrible to fly. When it's got your motors pitched at like what? I don't even know what it is. I imagine it's not 30. That would be pretty good angle if it was. It seems tamer than the Whoops. Well, yeah, it would make sense because the Mantis has a little more power. Nope, Vampire, I don't think you missed nothing. Crystal was eating some tater tots.
Not on camera.
He said
Y'all know
fresh
better
out
than
the
that.
oven chocolate chip cookie. Ooh, I'm with you on that. Chuck, I don't even want to hear it. Don't even tell me. I already know what I think you saw.
Yeah, you missed a video chat.
I know I missed the video chat because I was live. They know what they did. Hey Chuck,
Darn, man, I should have jumped in on that video chat.
but something tonight I read here in chat that was like, whoa. I'm gonna have to do some homework on that. Screw you guys. It happened. I don't want to hear it. 10 degrees on the Falcon. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense about 10. But Birdman, you should definitely remove those things, man. Props are made to point up. I was one time going to print when I first saw Oliver with that thing. I was interested into it, and I was like, she grabbed her phone down. I was like, nah. But one day I would want to print those just to put them on there, just to try it out, just to see how like different it would be. I can imagine your props being pitched forward, you know.
Lehan just hit 50.
Just hit 50, sweet. I remember when I had 50 and.
Night, John C.
Night, John. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Look, I got that loosened up. He spent last night. You still hear the dirt on.
Axio is in the process of selling his house. They had an open house there last weekend.
Yeah, I don't know on that one, Richard.
And in the process of possibly
Busy,
moving
I guess.
states.
Yeah, I think he's moving states. It's really raining. Yeah, if it's raining there, Ryan, it'll be here soon. It's supposed to come and be here all day tomorrow.
There, Ryan.
And Sunday it's supposed to rain.
No, keep it up there, Ryan.
Axio is a ghost, Chuck says. I say, huh? Me?
Well, they were talking about cookies and chocolate chip cookies, and he didn't
It felt normal to you, Mike, with that pitch on the motors? Huh. You a boss then. Send it. Dive the tree with the 5-inch. That's what I said, Baduga. I'm like, bling. Talk about me? Somebody say cookie.
First ate all the cookies.
And I will be flying with Chuck in about 2 weeks now. Yeah, it's the 10th, so
9 days.
9 days actually. And Bob's coming to Nubapalooza in Felton, Delaware. Come on, Bob, jump on that bike, brother. Jump on it and head. And I don't even know which way to tell you. my way.
East.
I don't travel.
Very true, Ryan. Totally out of your hands. Totally in Mother Nature's control.
Yep. Brian wish he could stop the rain. Neil could. I saw him do it one day. He said, and paused it.
Chuck, you're gonna have to get on Josh because Vampire's waiting on the schedule, and I'm sure other people are as well.
Yeah. Vampire, you
9
gotta
days,
come,
babe.
bro.
You
gotta
come
come.
up on the schedule before 9 days.
You don't have any quad to fly, Bob? Yes, you do.
Maybe Miss Val will allow you to borrow hers.
No, he don't want to come and fly the thing. He's got a freaking quad. He's got a freaking oh man, he's got a DMR. It's a 5-inch. I think it's a 5-inch. Maybe it's a 4. Send me a ticket. I'll be there. What kind of ticket you need, Mike? Speeding ticket? Bro, I wish I would pay for your way. Anybody, I'd pay them to come here.
Night Train, honey, have you been buying them lottery tickets? Because I told you my fingers were crossed and I was hoping for you. I bought a couple, but I haven't won anything yet. I'm trying, though.
Just trying to figure out. I got you. What days are going to be closer for you? So Philly, Monday or Tuesday, Baltimore, Thursday or Friday. Now, how the hell is Bot gonna go to Baltimore with us? He chilling with us all week? What?
He didn't say that.
He said Bot was coming to Baltimore with us.
All right, so
He did.
Hush, hush. So
Don't
on,
you play nothing out loud.
Hush. On May 20th or the 21st, they'll be in Philly, and on May 23rd or 24th, they're going to be in Baltimore for Nubapalooza. Huh?
Little Facebook?
No, that's what Chuck just said.
Oh, okay. I thought you were reading off my phone. I'm like, okay.
No, I got the dates on the calendar.
Vampire side, pick Bot up for Baltimore. Hell yeah.
Because I'm good like that, and I just know things.
It's gonna be cool. To finally fly with Chuck. He's talking about running a 6-inch quad into my head when I was flying, going through the gates or something. Oh, cool, Lehan. Oh, he's only 30 minutes north of you? Damn. That is close. You are up there a little bit. Well, from Josh's house, it wasn't long to South Philly. We could do it in a day trip with no problem.
Well,
what?
Looks like I'll be headed with y'all at the Baltimore possibly.
Why?
It's a month that Thursday, Friday.
We're gonna be in Josh and SUV with 4 people. No, I'm just saying. Like here.
I'm not riding the roof right.
You can ride the roof, right?
No, hell no, I'm not.
Sit on one of our laps.
No, hell no, I'm not.
He's almost hit Bot in the head with my quad. Whoa. You might hurt that quad. Dude, I watched this one video of the cemetery. It made me piss on myself laughing at him. I don't want to say exactly what he said on the live stream. Oh, he's like, ain't no one here. You're just around, just boop. Right, Leon said, I need those fat sharks first, for sure. Need them more. Yes, indeed. I wish I would be a fat shark. Teleporters away right away. Almost. Essentially, they're Dom V3s, I believe. Oh, that's cool. I was gonna say, now does your local hobby stores rack the price up on everything? They seem like they do more than online. I figured Philly wasn't that far when you said you were going up that day to fly with Bot. It's gonna be cool. Can't wait to New Palooza. Because we haven't really had, Josh has been busy, so we really haven't had like an Amigo meetup where me, him, Joe, Eric all would get together and fly. So New Palooza is gonna be much better. We got Chuck It gonna be there. Can't wait to fly with him. Bounce off his trailer or tractor. You probably won't have a trailer, right? You gotta have a trailer. I'm gonna skid that trailer. probably bounce off your windshield. No. Just gonna be cool. Get together, bunch of people who all I hope most of you can show up, hopefully. But we understand with the travel issue and stuff like that. No trailer. We'll find a spot with some trailers then. You park your truck there and just tell them it's your trailer. What's a chuck it? Chuck it! Some crazy ass dudes I know, Bob. One to me is woo. The closest one to us is up in Easton, which is
45 minutes.
yeah, about 45 minutes. So we rode all the way up there one day. I'm like, well, I have to at least buy something, and I bought the the flight test mini Raptor kit thing to build the wing. Sir Chucketh the first.
No,
Squish, you coming up? Are you gonna like try to make it one of the days, or be epic to meet you? We'll keep you away from the water.
we're surrounded by water.
I know, but we kind of fly in not so wet areas. Try to. But hopefully it won't rain as much as they're saying tomorrow, because I definitely want to fly. Took the 6-inch out today to the park. Well, I got a video I went ahead and dropped before I come live on that. Just out cruising around the park. You want me to tell you something I did? Noob. So I turn on the session, and I'm like telling you what I'm gonna do, right? Got 6-inch guys, chameleon here. We're gonna go flight, right? Stay tuned. Poof, turn off the camera. Took off and never turned the camera back on. And you always know you did an epic flight with that. Dude, I was cruising all around there. Like there was really nobody there. So I kind of would come up and then drop back down below the canopies all around, back up off of it. Because the wind was crazy today with the, like I said, the floss, I'm hit and miss on that right now. I got to find a freestyle one that I'm really liking right now, because the floss isn't doing it for me. So I think I'm going to end up just redoing it, getting a diatone Mamba stack, and then I may do something with the motors. The motors are okay, those A-OK flies, but I'm not sure if they're causing a twitch on me. Yeah, you get freaking good goggles, Lehan. It's over with. That's like giving a racer a freaking nice track to race on. Yes, Mike. I am actually anal about DVR footy. The DVR on my goggles, I could go back and watch that, and actually post it to my channel. It is very good. If you don't have no breakup on your bird, it's very good DVR footage. Really nice looking, clean and clear. But my sessions do that. That's what I got the session for. That's what captures my YouTube. You know, I fly for myself. I do this for you guys, like when I want to put the footy up and stuff like that, basically to share what I did. But your DVR, you will never catch me with my DVR off, especially in an unknown area. And over here, if I forget my card and I don't have it, I'm fine. But in an unknown area, that light's blinking between my eyes, Jack, because I'm going to tell you what, it's always good to have that extra security to go back and watch that DVR if you lose your bird, because sometimes in new areas, you're not going to kind of be, familiar with the area. So everything, when it starts spinning and coming down, everything's going to look the same to you. If you have a DVR, or if you don't have a DVR, you want to get one. Like you saw Lehan have on the front of his goggles. I actually have one. It's around here. I just had it the other day too. I saw it. laying around here. I had the black one of what he has, that like orangish looking one. But yes, definitely run a DVR. You definitely want to run one of those. No, I haven't done the immersion RC update. Is that the immersion RC module? I don't have the immersion RC module. I have the True D Furious one. But I run I don't have the latest update on that neither, and it runs great. I mean, I've taken that 6-inch here a quarter mile past myself and still had great FPV footage. And that's how I got the antenna set up and all that. So even with my pack, you know, I'm still kind of got that antenna sticking up. So when I go out, because I don't know if you guys know that, which I know most of you do, but if you put your pack on and then you have that like stubby antenna and it sticks down below your pack, you're going to be good going out like this. But when you turn around and come back to yourself like this, you're now blocking yourself. That RF is down, you know, your signal's down here. So you'll catch like a lot of lines and stuff like that. Exactly, Lewis. Lewis knows. Got to have that DVR on, man. It's well worth
John
it.
said, first you show people my quad again.
Yep, John. Figured I'd
Better
show.
yours than mine, John.
Figured I'd show your quad off. This thing is just fun to add. What this does for me is this makes me get some proximity flying in, because when I'm on the 5-inch, I'm just a little bit, and I'm always rolling and flipping and doing all kind of stuff. And I've been wanting to learn. If you noticed, kind of in my flight when I'm flying, I notice everyone like will do like a. It's kind of like a skate, and you kind of keep in mind of which way they're going, because you really don't know, because they're just like ticking it. You know, kind of like thinking about, you know, just skipping down the street or whatever. So I've been learning to do that with the drone and ticking it and all. And you'll see that a lot in my video that I put out today. I make myself do it now until it becomes second nature, and then it'll just come in second nature with me. But yeah, I love it. I traded Ryan the Green Machine for this thing, and it was well worth it. This thing is, I put the 2200 milliamp hour 4S onto it. Man, I can have a ball with this thing. Can't wait to get like Crossfire or something on it and really go out there with it. I put some foamies on the bottom.
John Hun, they are more or less 90. And honestly, if you go to any multi-GP race, you'll see a lot of quads that are pitched just like that and going through the gates. So it's not only DRL.
Yeah, and that camera's nothing on that. It's just the cage makes it look really up. I don't know if I had to guess. That's maybe 30. But it's also setting up. So if you take these screws out and put this on that screw here, it's going to set it down and up higher. And then it'll lay right on here, like this one here. Now this one I have the camera angles up on. I actually don't have it resting on the bar here. So that's, you can see how that slope just goes right up. So that's probably, the session mounts 30. So that's probably like in between 30 and 35-ish. And I mean, it's really pitched. But that's what, if you saw Lehan's camera angle, his was like, poof, pointed up. And he said he looks at the grass when he's kind of, it's crazy, but the camera angle makes a world of difference on how fast or how slow the drone is. And a lot of people try to find it off of looking at everybody else's quad. You don't want to do that. You want to find your own camera angle, and then you're going to be happy with your quad and make it do what you want it to do and be more in control with it. That's what I like to do with it. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm kind of finding, go out and flying's fun still, but now it's time to put in work, basically. I know I've been doing it, learning, but just going out flipping and rolling all the time, I'm getting tired of that. I want to put more proximity flying in with it, and then kind of do things, and then put, you know, the roll and the flips into it. So I'm kind of trying to find a path right now on flying. And my floss, I think it's just because it sucks and it's not flying right now. So, you know, when you like that one quad, it flies great, and it just sucks when it just doesn't fly great. That's where I'm at right now. And you're like, why? I have to go down the wall and find
No, No,
what makes it.
no.
Not by
The last
breaking
time you
stuff,
went down the wall, it was a disaster.
but just finding
You
which
all
one.
remember that, and the wall didn't look like that back then.
I mean, this I run on 5S. Now, this thing is a beast. 2750 kV motors on 5S. It is a monster. But it's fun to fly. And as you can see, I have banged it up a little bit. That cage is kind of just a little crooked there. Smacked into a picnic table one day.
A crooked cage?
A cricket cage. I hear you, Chuck.
Tell him.
You're getting there, Chuck.
Believe it or not, when we met Lehan at the race, he only had one.
He had one quad, right? Lehan only has one quad.
Just one.
And that's why you guys know or you don't know, he had one that he showed me a picture of. It just needed a flight controller, well, a stack rather. And so I was like, he asked me, did I have anything? Because, you know, he's like, he knows I get like all kind of stuff and stuff like that. I was like, actually, I don't right now. I was like, I got to thinking, I was looking at the wall. I was like, actually, I do. And that's when I give him that Lumineer Alpha off that skid snow frame. And I got it back up and running with a stack that I had. But I have to get with someone that has Lewis script on their transmitter or get it on mine so I can adjust the PIDs through that because the little DCP port's been ripped off of it. 15 off flat is flat. Lewis. No, that's like 5 degrees. Stop playing. Not 15. See? It's flat now. I get what you're saying. Lewis, it took me a little bit because my ignorance of that day we got in kind of that little discussion of the camera. I get what you're saying now in beta flight though. Tilt it. I think I'm right. Kind of look where it's at and then see what degree it's telling you it's at. Is that how you do it? Dude, we have to support our youth. Yes, that is our future. And if we want to be old, sitting around going, oh, look at this guy. He just flew through that tree. We're going to have to do it, right? We're going to have to keep the knowledge going and keep the exposure.
We have to keep the passion going.
Oh, John, what's my favorite quad? I'm looking at the wall through the camera like, dude. Right now, that's really, really, really hard to answer. No, it's not the Rooster. This thing, when you want quickness, fast, and all that, that's what this guy's good for. I'm more of the grandma kind of thing. I like the more slower speed, more slower freestyle. So right now, I'm going to have to lean towards probably the 6-inch.
I was going to say, it's a toss-up with him right now between the 6-inch, the floss, and the frog.
But now the Dead Hawk that I have rebuilt, this thing I have to put a little bit more stick time into it, but I am digging this now.
Don't back up.
So I went from 2300 kV motors to 2450 kV motors. Major difference there. This thing, you just touch the throttle, and I mean it just jumps. I have it down on believe it or not, I'm like 500, right around 500 on the curve with it because I want to try to find I know they say 400 for race, kind of 400. Well, they say it depends on how the wind or what that is, but kind of 400 for race. So I'm kind of wanting to try to find something, if it's even possible, to find something in between the freestyle, the race, kind of get in here with the rates because not to make excuses, bad pilot judgment that day, but I had it on 400, and when I want to do that power loop, it just doesn't respond as it did on 650, and it went real slow than what I thought, and then all of a sudden it went real faster than I thought. So I don't know what happened that day when I hit something. I'm wanting to say I hit the step of the tractor, but the more I think of it, they have these big iron I-beams in the ceiling, and it did sound like I hit like a boom. So I think I'm hitting that thing. Newfound Drone Productions, Bill, welcome. But this guy's doing real good. I just have to give it more stick time because of the lower rate. So I was starting to get the hang of the power loop again the other day. And Chuck, you remember what we're talking about? How y'all just said give it stay in the throttle and just come back around easy. That's what I've been learning with this. So my favorite quad right now is really hard to judge. I would say probably the 6-inch because I can just jump on that thing and fly. Now that's just doing what I did today, flying around proximity and doing some flips and rolls. A little bit, but the full blown tilt the camera up 35, 40 and just rip ass. That's probably that Puda D240 frame. So right now, if I was having to grab one and just go out something to go freestyling, and be not say competitive or something like that, because it's not. I'm just saying, and look good at doing it right now. This would probably be the one I grab. This one is decent, but it's got racecraft race motors on it. Now they're real violent motors. Like you can hear when these things spin, they just have a different sound to them, different growl and all that. So they do okay with the freestyle, but you can see it's kind of wobbly and stuff. So you could probably tune them out, I'm sure. Yes, and these are not V3 Steelies. These are V1S's. The real watermelon. No, I'm kidding. I'm cheap and I don't want to buy no props, so I had some green and pinks that were the same pitch and all that. So bam, go and drop it on there for a different look. But this Puda D240 is a nice frame. I do like it. So I'm probably going to eventually tame the motors down a little bit. And they're not high on KV. It's just the way they run.
John wants to see the 6-inch.
You want to see the 6-inch? You want me to pull that out on camera? 6-inch. See how much longer it is? Because your normal 6-inch, like this is a 5, so it's not much different, but you can see that's a little bit longer there because it's the LR, the long range, so they give you a little bit more room, I guess. I've had it, like I said, better than a quarter mile away from myself, and still had FPV and all. I actually dove a tree out that far, and this has got some 2450 Allen Frybot motors on it. I have them on here and on this guy, the remix frame. Kind of can't get into that remix frame. It's the clone. It's the oh my god, not the oh my god. He's a record. Yeah, right, Mike. He knows which one's going to be my fave. If I get a Mamba stack for this, I'm telling you, I feel like that's the connection I need to make. Now, I got the Mamba in here, but I'm not pulling it out of here because that's my 5S bird. I am building a 6S bird, so you have to stay tuned for that. That's something a little different. But I am building it, and it is a definite now. Like it's coming. Motors and everything. So good to go. And I'm running my TBS power cube in it, so it'll run 6S all day. But if I get the Mamba 405 with this, I just feel like I could do much better with it. And maybe these are 2600 KDs. I'm thinking about rolling back to maybe some 2450s. I'm liking the 2450s in freestyle. You guys see that on the 2450s? They seem like they're really good, like plenty of power and stuff. And I guess that depends on which one. But I mean, I'm talking about, I've referenced it off the bot grinders, V1s that are on this one here, the Impulse Reverb grinder. They're really, really, really smooth 2450s. And then the 6S or 6-inch has 2450s, and I'm kind of liking them. The Dead Hawks running 2450s now. I'm kind of liking them. I'm thinking, maybe I'm wrong, but if you got like a higher KV, I'm sure that would cause you some issues too. I'm kind of like not into the higher KV thing anymore. I'm finding. I don't know. They just kind of spin, like these spin up real fast too, like really fast, and they give you lift real quick. So maybe just tuning them out or whatever. Once I get that Mamba in here, I'd see, because I think the Kakut F4 is just, I don't know. I haven't really found a love for that thing yet. So I do have in that oh my god frame a Pyro Flip F Hyperlight F4. I should put that in here, but I've had one in here already, and I've caught this drone on fire. So I don't know what that fire was from. So that fire worries me. Was it? I'm wanting to say it wasn't due to the tuning and messing with the filters, because Josh helped me along with that, and I just don't. And he's got the people talking with him are like the people that are doing it. So it's not. I don't think it was that. I'm wanting to say I had a rubber band that I would put around my battery to come around and hold everything on my pack together, because I didn't have the cord like this before. I had it here, kind of coming off the side, so I would kind of hold it together. So I had a rubber band, one of the brown ones, doubled and stretched, and it was wrapped around the arms right here, and it was pulled down as I was changing the pack. So that could have pressed down and made that ESC touch the carbon through the tape, maybe. I don't know. So the fire does make me wonder what it was, but other than that, that's what I wanted. That when I flew that the Reverb here yesterday, that thing's amazingly tuned. I can't get over the tuning, and that has all the filter tuning into it that I did on this one. It had the Hyperlight into it, and it hasn't caught fire yet. So knock on wood, that's a good thing. And I smashed it to the ground real hard when I had all that set up on here, like real hard, and then it caught fire. So between that and the rubber band, this could have been what caught fire on this thing. But this is a nice frame. Like, I really like it. The Hyperlight Floss Flow Rider. I want to get the Glide. That's my next, probably my next frame that I buy. I'm wanting to say is going to be the Glide. I'm not deciding if it's going to be the Glide or not. It's just like, I mean, when I buy a frame, because I trade so much stuff, but I'm going to end up just buying one and then building it, because I know Chuck and Josh been running them, and they've been telling me a lot about them. And Josh always told me about this guy, and he was on point on everything he said. It's just something different in the carbon, and I noticed that on the Hawk, the Dead Hawk too. Now this frame here, this is the newer one of the Hawk 5 frames, the one that Kebab did in his video in reference to it. That's why it's got the wider plates here for the camera. And you can kind of feel the slight difference in the frame. I don't know if they've changed the carbon difference in it, but I do get the feel that. I know y'all might think, hey, you're full of shit. Flying all these frames, I get to feel the difference of how does the frame that costs, say, $100 versus the one that costs $60 versus the one that costs $30 fly. Well, I've had good results on that, and this one here is like $35, and I've had it 80 mile an hour and smacked a tree. Nothing burnt. So they're coming a long way with their carbon. And when you fly something that has decent carbon into it, you feel that carbon. Believe it or not, for some reason, I could be talking crazy, but I feel the difference in it.
You talk crazy? Nah, what are you talking about?
What if your quad catches the couch on fire?
Yeah, well, you were talking about the quad fire. Bob said no, quad fire, couch fire is better.
Chris had a couch fire, actually, Chris Riley. Bob had a battery explode in his house. You can't fly a paper airplane, Charles. Yeah, paper airplane on fire. Fire. Well, guys, I see it's 9:09. I was going to end this at 9, but I've been blabbing. But I love it. I could talk all day quad. Y'all know this. But get out and fly. Whatever you're flying, don't matter. If you have a $1,000 rig, you have a $100 rig, fly it. Fly it like you stole it. That's the best way to fly them, because you don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I say that, but I do care. When I get like excited when I crash, I have the moment later on when I'm like, or get on the sim. There you go, Mike. Exactly. I fly the sim, lift off, like nothing wrong with it. Anyone that says the sim does no good for you, no. I've always told you guys that I feel like it does do a lot for you. You guys learned from our guest tonight, Lehan, that does a real whole lot to you. What, brother? That's awesome. So now you have 2 quads. What up? That means you're gonna push that 6S one really hard now. You fly the 6S one now like it's your friend's drone that used to lend it to you. Heard someone say that before. Oh shit, you still need an RX and VTX. Dagnabbit. 700 plus hours on Sims, Mike. Yes. Do you want to talk about cross-eyed looking at a monitor? Well, guys, we appreciate your time. Lehan, again, we appreciate you and thank you for hanging out with us. Look, Kagan, I'm sorry, brother, you just come in. Green Frog. But we appreciate having you on the stream. It was awesome. Let you meet others, let them meet you. And guys, you can see we have now well, Jack's 10. Jack still the youngest for these 10, I think, right? And Lehan being 14, but you can see now, so from 10 to what Richard say was 60. I think Richard, not to be mean, but who would be like probably around us?
I think the oldest drone person that we know that flies is probably 65 to 68.
Right, 65 to 68. So you figure from 10 to 68, basically. That is epic. That is what you call networking for sure. So, again,
and not just here,
yeah,
international as well.
Right, not just here, like all over the place. Bob said I'm old. Well, I didn't want to call everyone old.
I'm not using that word tonight. We are experienced or retro or vintage, Bob.
There you go.
I've got myself in enough trouble saying things along that nature tonight.
Hey, you're never late, brother. I'm just glad you jumped in before I clicked the button on you. But appreciate your time again, guys. And like I said, stay tuned to the channel.
Who knows what's going to happen next week?
Yeah, and I want to do more like we did tonight. Like I thought that was cool to kind of poke around, and that's kind of what we did in the beginning. If you guys remember, we get people on, ask them how about how they get into it, what got them into it, and stuff like that. But I thought Lehan had to be definitely someone we had to bring to light, show you guys, because his skill set and passion is just epic. And we know when we got there, guys, what our passion was. Like we want get to it. So we know what it was like. So
yep.
Awesome. Thanks again,
Thank y'all
Lehan.
for hanging out.
Yep. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll catch you on. It's Friday. Jim.
The hangout is still tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jim's doing a hangout tomorrow night, but if so, we'll see you then. If not, we're gonna be on Monday night, and I'm planning on having drone worship on Monday night with me. So stop by, see what D-Dub's talking about. Bob, definitely come by, and we'll see you guys then.
Night, guys.
Peace. Peace out, suckers. Later, guys.